maybe that actually has brought us to the Zen Center. Maybe that feeling that this story is going on, the story of our life. As I put the Zen stick up, another way of thinking of this is when you go to the cemetery and you look at the tombstones, right? There's the birth date and the death date. And in the middle, there's a dash. And that's our life, right? And we realize it's not that long, and we wake up, and maybe we realize we're getting towards, we're kind of getting more closer to that end than we are to the beginning, and it brings us here. So what does living in that moment do? Of course, we wake up to our lives. What is happening right now, right? So instead of living in that dreaming of breathing in and breathing out, I'm just living in this moment, really fully living in this moment. Yeah. And this story will lead us on forever. There's an image, Zen came from medieval times, and so, a big bull with a ring through its nostrils, and of course you would put the leash or the halter on the ring and lead this ox around by its nose. And our stories have a way of doing that with us. When you're reading a novel, the characters feel immersed in this story and they feel stuck. Yeah. And so this practice is not about transcending and getting out of it completely, like rising up and being able to live like a balloon, right? And just looking at our lives and all the people down below and somehow transcending and bypassing, using that phrase very intentionally. So if I meditate, I don't have to deal with some of my hurts, my traumas, my difficulty with relating and sexuality and money and some of these other problems. I'm going to transcend them. I'm going to rise above them like a balloon, so I don't have to deal with them. Those problems are down there. I'm up here, and this practice is not about that really at all. It's actually about, if anything, it's like being a parachutist and coming down. We can finally land in this moment. We're finally landing, or we're finally letting our feet touch the ground right here. And really, we can see the story, and yet we're not stuck with the story. We're not trapped by the story. We can see the breath, and yet just right here at this moment, experiencing it. So we can see that there's birth and death, and yet, in a sense, that's all there is. In a sense, there's no birth and death. If you understand that to mean that I'm just going to ignore it, that's bypassing. But if you understand that there's only one moment that we're ever going to live in, and that's this present moment. Even at the moment of our death, that'll be just like this moment, in that it's just this moment, right? And then a moment afterwards, don't know. But moment to moment of this life, just land here, just like this parachute is coming down, and just really arriving in this moment. So in the Heart Sutra, Carrie was talking about the end, the mantra, gate, gate, gone, gone, gone beyond. And he was talking about hoping that this would mean that will be done, that will be gone, right? But the beginning of the Heart Sutra begins, form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. So one way of thinking about that is this story that we're living, this form, the form of our lives, the story, is empty. And empty doesn't mean like, it does actually mean no meaning in a sense, but what it actually means is spacious. One of the most common metaphors for empty is like the sky. So we could just say it's spacious like the sky. The clouds come and the storms come and then they all go away, right? And the sky is still there. The sky is still this spaciousness. So our story goes, maybe we have a lot of drama. Maybe we have a lot of problems. So we see the clouds, but we can also experience, this is the sky. We can experience that spaciousness at the same time. And so the clouds don't capture us, just this moment. Experiencing our freedom in this moment.